I'm back early enough that no one feels the need to do more than side-eye me. Even though Team League is done for the foreseeable future, the pressure to keep up practice hours remains. Coach Kong paces furiously, clearly still fuming about yesterday. No doubt he'd have words for me, or likely fierce, if it wasn't practice time. At first, I thought I'd jump straight into practice with Huang, but I caught him in the middle of a practice map, so I decided to load mine up as well. But a few minutes later, I feel exhausted and unable to continue. I wave Huang away when he signals me for a game and load up a replay instead. Whoops. With the replay still on display, I pull out my phone to stare at one contact in particular. I press her name and let the call go through, though don't need to bring the receiver to my ear. Whatever the reason is she won't answer, I won't pretend I'm okay with how this turned out. Jet needs to know that I don't want to leave things like that. That leaves just one other phone contact with the ability to occupy my attention. Synthé, what's up? Just about to hop onto a flight. I'll make a time to swing by Seoul soon. Only if we qualify. Not worth coming out otherwise. Why are none of the first words capitalized? That bothers me. Then I trust at least one of you won't let me down. When are the first games at the studio? Are these texts? Is that why it looks ridiculous? The round of 32 should be in 3 weeks or so. I just got qualifiers before then, but I'll keep you in the loop. I expect you will. Work hard, Sungwon. You too, Miss Junior Exec. I glance up to see my replay's timer at its end. It must have finished some time ago, judging by the look from the teammate on my right. You're sure there's no more you have to share with Taewon? No, sir. I see. Thank you for your honesty. Are we done here, Kong? No, there's one more person to question. Coach Kong's eyes travel across the room to meet with mine. I should have expected as much. Come, talk with me. The token rebuttal I should feel obligated to raise about practice doesn't come. But before I know it, we're out in the hall, headed for the XSL studio. Coach Kong starts to follow, but Chairman holds a hand at him. After they share a look, shocked T1 coach retreats back to the practice room to stew. I have to imagine you know what this is about. Nope, not a clue. Well, I recall you pushed for Chaeyoung-song to join Shock T1. I take it you two have some history? You could say that. And I thought that was going to be best for everyone. For us, yes, but also for the league. I want what's best for the KBGA as well, so you should have no trouble answering my questions. Let's begin. Has Chaeyoung-song attended non-sanctioned tournaments? I pause. Cell's carefree visage came to mind. Besides ICG, no, but she wasn't in the league at the time. Has she been involved with any business outside of the sponsors? She took a gig with a foreign brand called Gearflame, but again, that was before she was on Shock. Since then, no. You're certain she hasn't continued working with them? As far as I know. Very well. Are you aware of any unsportsmanlike conduct Chaeyoung might have perpetuated against your teammates or opponents? Has she paid for an opponent's replays or used stimulants? Engaged in criminality related to game or the otherwise? No. Jet is rough around the edges, but she's a real competitor. Tell me what this is about. He slows and turns. Behind him, backstage area, the XSL studio hums quietly. You do understand loyalty, Sungwon, but Chaeyoung-song doesn't. She never has. A person who cares only for themselves simply does not belong in our league. I was willing to overlook her initially, but now it's obvious that she must go. Stop. Why? Because she wanted to be like any other player? Because she was tired of being a token? You misunderstand. This is our sport, our domain. It is our duty to protect its legitimacy and longevity. Answer me honestly. If tomorrow a Chinese oligarch raised up a league from nothing and paid participants what the KPGA would Jet stay or go? You claim we treated her unfairly, but she was given the same chance you were as a practice partner. Look at the difference between you now. You're fond of Chaeyoung, that's natural, but look past your instinctual protection of her and realize what we're up against. Screw you. Anybody should not have any loyalty to a league, especially when the league doesn't have any loyalty to you. Foreign developers, panicked mothers, and reactionary media, those of us who guffaw at our success and happily mock our failures. For 10 years we struggled for air, and now she spends her breath in defiance. And for what? Chaeyoung-song will never be a champion. I'm standing at a crossroads. Everything that has led me to this point gives me reason to defend Chaeyoung. We're saving. I genuinely don't know what to say here. Do I talk about Jet? How do you know whether or not Jet can win a Star League? You don't play Starcraft. I am not, but I did not find myself at the KPGA blindly. I understand the competition, and I acknowledge the truth that there are winners and losers. Let me speak plainly, Sungwon. Song is crass and unladylike by nature. I have no doubt she's an enjoyable companion, but is not worth representing our league. She didn't intend to step back in the spotlight. Chaeyoung's plan for her return was always to focus on her play. In little more than a month's time, she found her way back at center stage. Do you think it's some coincidence? If she earned that privilege with a Star League win, would you stand against her? Which Star League champion has been vulgar and as self-serving as her? And that you have your answer. Get out of here. Stands for the KPGA, but it's not the full picture. Chaeyoung might not have every quality you want in the representative of StarCraft, but she's not the first to meet that description, is she? Explain. Anders Og Hansen, the first and only foreign StarCraft Star League champion. Even if he was respectful and sportsmanlike in every sense, he firmly remained an outsider. I have misgivings about him, just like I have disagreements with Jet, but the only differences between the players is what makes the crucible of competition compelling. His victory was before the creation of KPGA. StarCraft was a game then, not a sport. Get out of here! StarCraft is inextricable from the rise of the PC Pong and the better lives the average people claimed at the time. The Hanson rose from nothing to claim a victory as charming footnote in that history. Just like Chaeyoung-song, his story might have inspired some, but today, the nation is our audience. Only victory under their team's terms can satisfy expectations we built. Honor and devotion, 12 hours a day, unmatched competition, and the pride that comes with it. Precisely. Nobody should work 12 hours a day. For, like, multiple days in a row. Like, 5-day weeks. You shouldn't be working a 70-hour week. What do you intend for the KPGA going forward? We have a right to be proud of what we've accomplished, but I can't imagine you're satisfied just yet. For as long as we exist, the KPGA must be positioned to regulate new titles and empower existing ones. Esports have nowhere to go but up. You don't need to explain that to why I don't need to explain that to you why that's reason enough, and we ensure this country's continued dominance. Even without the KPGA, we work harder than anyone else. South Korea's rise was not a random one. Our duty now is to protect that throne. The vice chairman nods, a glint of satisfaction in his gaze. There we go. After her debut, the league arranged exhibition matches for Jet more than once. Help me understand what the KPGA hoped to accomplish and what went wrong. I shouldn't have to explain this to you, but a female professional gamer is unique and quite attention-grabbing for curiosity, part of which we measure success as viewership. But what if she was being groomed but what was she being groomed for if not a career in StarCraft? The point behind those exhibitions was to give her matches she could not earn on her own, to build her profile and drive fans to Brood War. You've seen the fans of our top players, and no doubt you know the command for burgeoning music into industry stars. Had she cooperated, Song would have had the best of both worlds. Her childish refusal to commit to a career was irredeemable. She may believe that it was her choice to depart, but she made no comfort available in those final months. When I heard the name Chaeyoung-song in an office lobby, I know it could only mean trouble. She already squandered the second chance she stole. I won't condemn her for any of that. And I won't hold that against you, E. A woman's wiles are not unwound so easily. You're sexist. I don't like you. there's anyone you should be after, it's Coach Bach. But however Jet came to join Renown, she must have played some role. Can't you find him or remove him from poaching? Rest assured, you're not the only one to despise Bach. Renown's inability to perform is a symptom of many failings. Already I have put into motion his removal from the League. My authority over him gives me every right to take a direct approach, but it's better for the League to do so quietly. Don't actually agree with that. Disagree very, very much. I honestly think Coach Bach honestly has done the best he can. Honestly, if anything, I have issues with KPGA. To be fair, I'm very much seeing a game design from it. I don't know the real what's everything behind it, but my point stands. The KPGA has every right to look strong. Constant upheavals prevent chaos. Correct. Are the sponsors of this league involved with your decision making here? They should want someone like Gent front and center. They did, but the goodwill and excitement has poured out into Chae-Young's songs ended shortly after her debut. You seem to have forgotten that I've been through this with her already. I was patient then, but I believed she could be changed, better molded. The Chai Bowl expect their association with Starcraft to reward them with goodwill and an aura of excellence. Chae-Young's song represents neither. Wins our credibility in Starcraft, but I'm certain Jet will get hers in time. But will it be soon enough? That's everything I could possibly think of as worthy of Vice Chairman's attention. I tried, but it's clear to me that Jet's removal from the League isn't something he'll be swayed from so easily. She'll know how to watch her back and protect her license. I'll make sure of it. Stir all you like, Sunghwan. That won't change the truth, nor what me must do. I have gone to war for KPGA, defended it in ways you will never know. For that, I will never ask for more than your loyalty and hard work. You may tell Coach Kong that I'll find another way. He departs. I'm left to find my way back to the practice room in silence. I am very much bothered by Chairman. Minsa, just a little longer. Mumbled something, but I can't hear him properly from inside my backpack. One of my classmates seated next to me turns and stares. Did you say something? What? No. Weirdo. A minute later, our teacher dismisses the class. Though I'm in the third row back, I'm first out the door. I don't know why I'm rushing. She's sure to be there and doesn't have anywhere else she wants to go. But it feels like I need to get this done right now. Like every wasted second is another she'll need for all the Hogwan she's missed. Goodness. Yuna could be hiding in any one of the Golden Zone Fire's many cozy corners. Now where is she? An energetic middle school crowd huddles together in one of the aisles, whereas the solitary and slouched MMO players are more spread out. The search might take a while, especially if she's sleeping. Ow! Oh, that really hurt. But no, my search is over before it even begins, because she's sitting right at the front desk, alone. Ow. Oh. Time? What? PC time. Do you want some? Where's Mr. Clerk? He's out. If you want time, you get it from me. Oh, well, I already have time on my account. Ah, right. Are you okay? I haven't seen you at school in like a whole week. Of course I am. I've got a place to stay. I can read and study whatever I feel like. I'm even making money for the first time ever. Ku is fair about it too. That's great. If you're happy, I'm happy too. Why wouldn't I be? It beats killing myself at school in Hawkwan every single day. Just then, one of the middle schoolers screams so loud that Yuna jolts in place. I know what you mean. It's been hard. With less than a month to go, I've been pushing myself as hard as I can. But, you know, I'm a little worried. What for? You've done all the ridiculous crushing chores considered baseline for the CSAT. Yeah, but I'm nervous about whether or not I'll score what I want. My practice test didn't go well. I didn't finish on time, and after checking my work, I realized I wrote some of my answers onto the Scantron incorrectly. How? Haven't your tutors showed you how to avoid that? Not at my cram school, no. You have to go after class for special information like that sometimes. Look, just pull up a seat. This will only take a second. Then you can get back to Starcraft or whatever. Okay. That sounded way too excited. Stay calm. Yuna fixes me with an odd look, but pulls out a blank piece of paper and a pencil. After a little scribbling, she has it troublingly close to this layout of an actual test page. Okay, first of all, always write on the test page. Instructors like to reuse those packets at Hagwon, but the real deal, just do it. When you have your answer, circle it and write the letter to the left of your question. Don't go from question to the Scantron. It's slower if you're jumping between the two and it kills focus. All that exists before you is the packet. Got it? Yo, that's actually like a really good Scantron, like test taking thing. I've never thought about that. Totally. So I write all my answers in the sheet at the end? There's an art to it. 3 at a time. ACA, BIC, ABD, like that. You'll never forget 3 letters in a row, and it's much rarer to bubble in a mistake if you do it this way. My mind is being blown. I've never ever tested this way. Like, I've done Scantrons, but I've never actually tested with, like, knowing here's, like, the optimal way. Gotta save those frames, guys. Oh, and you mentioned you were going slow. It's important to skip a question if it remotely trips you up. Even if it's something irrational like test anxiety, just skip ahead. You have to be fast and decisive. It's much better to skip a question that was giving you trouble than failing to reach the end before the time limit's up. Those final questions could be the easiest ones of the test. And this goes without saying, but never turn in your test early. Use every single second to check your answers if you manage to finish ahead of time. Oh my gosh, there's so much to this. Wait a second. I dig through my backpack, setting mud on the table to make more room for my search. Glad to be out of there. Oh, hello, Yuna. Please don't mind control me again. Stop. Here. I pull out a full practice packet and drop it onto the table between us with a thunk. Dust scatters all around us that Yuna waves away with a cough. I don't feel like going to Hogwarts either. Can you help me study instead? Oh, that's smart. Help me study. Definitely doesn't mean I'm gonna make you also study or anything like that. Shifty eyes. You have to pay attention, okay? With Yuna's shift done, we spell out of the Golden Zone fire together 4 hours later. I didn't see Mr. Clark, but I did hear the door to his office open up and close at some point. I was just too focused on Yuna's instructions to look up. Thank you so much for all your help. You don't need to thank me. Just for a little while, it felt good to think that I haven't been wasting my time, to see that I could actually help someone. Yuna, you're the smartest person I know. I'll be honest, I totally don't get what you hate so much about everything we were meant to do. Oh wait. I'll be honest, I don't totally get what it is you hate so much about everything we're meant to do. I know that it's just not hard. I know that it's not just that, it's hard. You're not afraid to take on a challenge if it's for the right reason. But what I do get is this. If you don't come back to school, you won't be with me with the rest of our Bleh. If you don't come back into school, you won't be with me when the rest of us graduate next year. I don't want that. Please come back. There's been a sinking guilt inside of me ever since I left her club. Even if I can justify it to myself, it doesn't matter to almost anyone else. And I'm scared to go home. There's no getting around that. I can tell her the truth that her parents will be relieved to see her, but I can't promise they'll show it in how they treat her. I don't have the power to help her as much as she just helped me, but I have to try. I'll walk you home, and if you decide against it on the way there, you can stay at my house tonight. Does that sound okay? I reach forward and take her hand gently. She tenses, but only for a moment. Bolt. I push past the glass door of the qualification area and breathe a sigh of relief. Got a little close, didn't you? Standing against the wall with a frustrating grin on his face is Excel. Given how early he was eliminated last season, he must have to requalify as well. Whoops. A first-round opponent shouldn't have given me such a hard time. You don't have to pretend to be disappointed in yourself with me. You won. That means you celebrate. Sulk if you want. Whoever you face next week won't let you make a comeback like that. Should get back and watch my teammates. Congrats on the win, though. Just a few shocked Team 1 players remained mid-match. Of everyone already standing, just Huang and I made it to the next round. It's packed inside for the qualification area beyond the glass door. Every licensed pro gamer starts their XSL room except the 4 who have the privilege of staying their games as a preseason feature exhibition at the studio. I considered joining Excel back inside when I remember why I had fled in the first place. Jet's in there, and her opponent is much stronger than mine was. I don't want to distract her or risk watching her lose, nor is now the time for that conversation that we should have already had by now. Cool stuff, Sungwon. Cool stuff, Sungwon. I turned to find Fierce at my side. At last season's second place finisher, he's already waiting for the next round in the round of 16. Didn't realize you'd make the time to come down here. I like to watch. It's a little crazy that so many good games get played in these qualifiers for an audience of none. That, and I've been thinking through what happened. My role in it, my priorities. She was just a practice partner. Champions don't beat themselves on behalf of others. Locke made that clear to me. If coming down here to support us eases your guilt, great. But don't act like it was a mistake. Sung Hwan, we're on the same team. I'm not your enemy. The game can't be conquered alone. You should know that. Beyond the glass wall, I see a flash of red. Through a crowd of a dozen others, I see Jet on her feet with clenched fists and a relieved smile. Opposite her, the favored Terran slouches with his head back. I feel a pang inside me. Despite everything, I'm happy for her, and frustrated that this isn't over. Suddenly, the vice chairman bursts out of the qualification area. He notices me, but says nothing when he passes. Sungwon, I want to help you see you qualify. Let me help you prepare for next week. Not as a favor, but as your teammate. I'm sure that Fierce could do so much for me. No different than Locke or Jet. I didn't click anything that time. I should get back to the practice room. Lay sip, lay sip. You know it. Whoa! Fancy smancy. Never have I spent a more excruciating day in practice. Every moment that did not involve me directly winning a game of Starcraft made me want to send a fist through my monitor. It's clear now that I've been using a crutch to suffer through the raw misery that is a life devoted solely to performing well at Brood War. The game is fun. We say it all the time. Everyone agrees on it. But fun isn't the right word. It feels good to get better, to make progress, to be good, to win. But at some point, the progress has to stop. At some point, you lose. I'm not ready to resign myself to the idea that this is as far as I can go. Not without knowing it's true. I begin the ritual I've completed every other day since her departure. I check my texts again to find them empty, and then I call. But then this time the rings stop early. I catch a breath through the speaker and then a word. Hello? You answered. You've made it clear you won't stop calling. I can at least do you the favor of acknowledging you. Is everything okay? I'm not angry with you if that's what you mean. No. I mean, are you doing okay? Have you eaten? Sunghwan, you sound so worried. Shouldn't I be over what happened? I'm scared of losing you. You and I aren't just partners, we're opponents. That's what our bet's all about. It's what I like about you. Na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, up, down, jump around. It's a good song. And it's what makes us who we are. You're the only one who ever understood that. I force things my way. I should have let you find your way back into pro gaming. You did what you thought was best. I won't blame you for that, and I shouldn't blame Fierce either. But we all have to do what's best for us. I miss you. Yeah, I miss you too. Can we meet tomorrow? Oh. Bolt! You made it! Here, but also in the next round! Wow! What happened to the 40 minutes I was gone? Suddenly Jet is alright again. It's hard to explain. And I really couldn't explain it well. Mostly because we also haven't seen Jet at all. Like, we haven't talked to her. I don't know what's happened. I don't want to make the obvious joke, Monica S. Oh my gosh. I permit Minsa's hug before brushing her off me. Aside from Ku lazily thumbing through a newspaper and his burnout mid-afternoon customers, looks like Minsa's here alone. I'm sorry, but I'm just so happy for you guys. Oh my gosh, it's just one more game until each of you are officially in the XSL. I just hope we get someone easy next round. I don't need anything else to stress about. Oh, please don't let it be us against each other. Oh no. I'm so 100% sure that I'm going to have to face Jet. And I'm going to be so sad when that happens. Jet, tell me all about what happened. Wish everyone had gotten along. I still don't know how I feel about it. Shock T1 has good Zergs, but it was about more than that. Well, she'll show them. You should hear the way she talks about practice. Jet only ever responds to my text way early in the morning and super late at night now. Don't worry, Sunghwan. With how hard you guys work, both of you will make it through. I know it. I want to believe that, so I show her a smile and nod. Just after a few minutes at a station nearby, Min says, we're at last joined by Jet. Hey, you made it. Did you doubt I would? It's almost noon. Want to refresh the bracket site for the next 5 minutes? Even if this didn't turn out how I wanted it to, it's a comfort to know that we haven't lost these familiar interactions. Minsa sways, happy to listen as we recount our matches from the qualifier. It's these new maps. You have to play so greedy on them. It isn't even greed anymore. I feel bad for all their people that have built their careers around hard and fast all-ins or even the threat of them. I still favor aggressive play. It's part about being a Protoss anyway. I can't decide how to define my style. Well-rounded is such a boring way of putting it. You're not the one who gets to define it anyways. That's up to the fans. Well, the commentators, really. You lean into your opponent. You're flexible. The game's tempo matters just as much as your initial game plan. It's a tricky style that's somehow honest. If I had to give it an over-top title like a caster, maybe I'd call it an Honor Among Thieves. I want her to laugh or at least cringe, but it doesn't come. She's too focused on the refreshed screen in front of her. Oh. The matches were posted. And it looks like in the next round, I'll be facing... Minsa rolls her chair to behold what had the two of us locked in a long stare. Maybe she doesn't have anything to say to us now. Smoke squints at Jet's screen and then takes a long drag. Featured match. What does that mean? No. This isn't fair. Jet says nothing. But her look says plenty. Well, are you just gonna sit there? Already? I should go. Sorry, Minsa. Both of you, but we just got back together. I know you guys can't practice together now, but you can't even talk?
This is the way things are. Nothing to be done about it.
Coob buries his cigarette in the ashtray and steps away, 3 words left in his wake.
Nothing but fight.
To be fair, we kind of all knew this was coming. I'll see you soon, Jet. Good luck, Seungwon. Coach Kong stands at the entrance of the practice room. When I glance in his direction as I step past, he turns away. Seungwon, I was wondering where you were. I noticed that a few of my teammates were watching me. One of the qualifying matchups on his screen. Even Fierce seems uncharacteristically awkward. He asks a question that he must already know the answer to. Everything all right? Taewon. I drop my bag on the desk and stare at him. Unrepentant. I'll win. But only with your help. You will. Oof. Another long night spent at Fierce's side. It's no exaggeration to say there's not a better person I could be learning from. Are you sure it's okay for you to spend so much of your practice this way? It isn't wasted time. If anything, a week of this sort of review might help me figure out to branch into yet an unknown strategy. Even if I doubt that's true, I resolve to not feel anything either way. I can't afford to. Not with how Jet must be training. Do you know why I recruited you, Seungwon? I'm sure there were other teams that wanted you for your ICG performance. You're aggressive and decisive. Key traits for a good Protoss. But that isn't why I assigned you. When I play Starcraft and listen carefully, I hear a dialogue to every action and reaction. I had every answer for what you had to say at ICG, but I heard you loud and clear. I'm not surprised that Locke speaks highly of you. You guys talk? Of course. Not as much as I'd like, but man, there's no one I know better than the people I can go all out with. Fierce trails off, stepping to sit on the couch in front of the PCs. With our teammates long gone, we're the last players here. Heck, we might even be the last people in the mall, period. You don't have to believe me when I say this, but I do understand how you feel. Brood War was beautiful. Brood War is beautiful. As long as the people who are left are still in this world who can appreciate that fact, we'll be just fine. Is it okay for a person to spend their life just playing Brood War? I don't have a clue. I just know in my gut that something's definitely about worth it. Everyone gets so caught up in the web surrounding Starcraft that they forget what it's really about. The conversation that only true competitors can understand. No matter who wins or loses, it's real. This man is a champion. The qualities that I've strived and struggled towards my entire life are simply in his nature. I have no answers for his honest zeal. I'm sorry that things haven't turned out great between you and me. I know they could have, and maybe they still can. Okay, well, I'll be here early tomorrow to warm up. Don't feel obligated to be at the studio. I turn around and grab my bag. He doesn't answer until I'm on the way out. Alright, Seungwon. Good luck. Almost a full week of hard contact with Fierce hasn't led to any sudden breakthrough, but instead polished and trimmed down the edges of my current style. With just 2 more blocks to go, I find myself on edge of a familiar place. Out of habit, I glance inside. Sprinting along the horseshoe path leading around the park, I see Jet. Aside from that dog walker, Chaeyoung is alone in Namdam Park. Is that a real park? I'm 100% curious. I don't think it actually matters at all, but... There's a Nandan Park. Korea. There's a Namsan Park. Wait a second. That gazebo looks really familiar. Namsan Park. Slightly off topic, but I wonder if I can get a specific angle that actually matches up the picture they show for this park. Because that'd be hilarious. All I know is I think this is actually based off of a real park. You know, I assumed so, but like I wasn't expecting like a 1-to-1 of the drawing. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys this picture, and I'm curious whether or not you think it looks like the park, because to me it most definitely does. This one? Main monitor. That was in the center of the park in the game, right? I'm like pretty sure it's based off of this park. Alright, back to the game. I'm also going to hold on to that though, because I'm curious about that park. If I approach, I won't want to hear everything she has to say. But I need to do it anyway, don't I? Chaeyoung. Jet turns, still panting. If she's surprised, she's too tired to show it. Oh, I guess this is a better picture, and it's not the same gazebo at all. Not even close. Oh well. I'm glad that I can actually see the park. That's a beautiful park. I wish this was a real... This has to be based on a real park. And I really want to go and see. If I can find it. Thought you might never... Took you long enough. I've been running on my own for 2 weeks now. Thought you might never show. If you aren't going to line up, I can keep trying to beat my best time. Not much difference once you get into it. I didn't come to race. What are you afraid of? We're not enemies, just opponents. Should I believe that? I know what you do in those I know what you do to those in your way. Why should it be any different because it's me? Believe what you want. Believe what you what? Oh no, typo. But I've defended you against every stupid offhanded remark anyone on that team let slip since I joined. They're right about one thing though. You have no skin in the game. You know what? Line up. I stalked my way to the end of the sidewalk and dropped my backpack off my shoulder. After her count, we're off. I show Jet no mercy for the fact that she must really already be tired from so many laps. She starts behind me and then I can't see her at all. Not even as I take the outside curve. I wield a 5-pace lead when I crush the finish line with my foot. Fast, too fast, I spin to glower back at her. Glower? Have an angry or sullen look on one's face? Scowl. Why not say glare? Is it just like the meaner version of glare? Happy? No skin. What do you think? You don't. Not like the rest of us. You should be more grateful that you're this good without it. What was all of that about loneliness? Just for a little last second 2v2 rapport building. You don't seem so broken without me. The only thing getting me through this week is Locke's admittedly useful advice and practice. And the chance to destroy you, Songhwan. Playing these games without some sense of disaffection and isolation is impossible. Nobody has an answer, just different solves to ease that pain a little bit at a time. Even Fierce, with all his oblivious confidence, feels the need to organize outings and personally cheerlead his team. He's been where we are. He knows what would have helped him. No, he's desperate to relate to us in the struggle he left behind, but he can't accept the truth that Locke has, that it's lonely at the top. And that's where you'll be. You're right. I want you to be there with me, but I'm not waiting. I don't get where you found this confidence. You haven't qualified yet. There are forces at work that want you out. I'm not afraid of you, Jet. I'm afraid for you. You would be. What, someone mad about how I left Shock T1? Who cares? I can't keep listening to those who only ever disapprove of me. Shock T1. Shock T1? Nice team! What? Why is this random guy got a character icon? I spin to see the guy walking his dog stopped and watching us. Right away I realized that he's out of place. Not just that he's a foreigner, but for another reason. A word passes Jet's lip in shock. It's a moment before I realize it's not just an explanation. She says it again. Is that Og? Was that Og? He's been walking a dog the entire freaking time? Og? You know me. What are you doing here? I'm walking my dog. He smiles and adjusts his glasses, watching as she straightens up to offer him a modicum of the respect he deserves. Modicum. A small quantity of a particular thing, especially something considered desirable or valuable. Interesting. Who's Og? He's the pro Zerg player. He's the only foreigner to win Brood War, and he's the pro Zerg player that Jet looks up to, like, a lot. Look, we have a codex about him. Codex. Where is he? There he is. He now has a face. A foreign Zerg player who was both first and last non-Korean to win a Starcraft league, or Star League. Despite his status as a legend among early Starcraft fans, there's been little sign of him since his retirement. Because he's busy walking his dog, man. Like, come on. Priorities. Sorry, South Korea. That's what I meant. I love it here, so I never left. I decided to make my life in this country. We both haven't heard from you in so long. Are you behind the scenes at KPGA or Blizzard or something? Nothing like that. I have a regular job. It's very boring, actually. Jet and I share a look. Og maintains his simple smile, patient when we don't answer. His little dog chases its tail, oblivious. Aw, that's so cute. For someone who became such an overnight success and was quick to retire, most of us know so little about you. My Korean wasn't great back then, so naturally it was hard to share about anything about myself. I'm from Sweden. Like every pro gamer, I played games excessively as a child, and when I finished high school, I went to Korea. You're just so normal. Why do I expect only foreign Star League winners to have some incredible story? I do have an incredible story. I was lucky enough to make it happen myself. Sometimes I feel bad about disengaging with Starcraft, here and abroad, but I still watch, I still read, and anyone who I touched in a positive way I'm thankful towards. Oh, my dog. Right. I also love that his name has the exclamation point. Jet turns and stares at me as if to say, this is the guy you've been complaining about since we were kids. Feel bad. I'm certain that Og understands us better than any foreigner on the planet. You came back to Korea, beat all of our players, took the crown, and disappeared. You rarely spoke in interviews, but you always seemed smug to me. And you made KDG retire. But that beating was what we needed. Thanks for that, I guess. Don't talk to him like that. You can be blunt with me. I don't blame your pride. I always imagined the pros I watched as a kid had ascended to greater things. Even you. But I have. Starcraft gave me treasured moments in home that I love. You can't ask for more than that. And, you know, KDG and I share drinks sometimes on the weekend. Sometimes we even stop by a PC Pong. That's so cool. Oh. Can you imagine that? People you grow up idolizing and thinking these great things about, and you meet them and they're a person. They're normal. It really puts into perspective. Humans are humans and capable of so much. You achieved what every pro gamer dreams of. How did you celebrate it? I don't like to call what I did a dream. Words like that, wish, hope. I know it's not the intent, but it makes it feel fake, unachievable. What I accomplished has become so sought after, it doesn't change what it means to me. You're a fool to think so little of your victory. Sung Hwan, you could have more than you're apparently satisfied with. Why turn your back on those that want to celebrate you? I got what I was after. I'm happy. Would I be happy if I stayed? Maybe. But I know that I'm happy now. Well, wait. I'd be happier if I won more poker hands. I swear, some of the fanes I find online are worse than a Terran who can only rush. Tell me about it. Don't even get me started on ZVZ gorillas. You never have the best mechanics or the most polished strategies. Your skill came from your ability to read the game's tempo and make hard calls. Yes, my famous star sense. It's simple. You must let go of your doubts and make decisive action. And you need plenty of experience. My love for Starcraft didn't lead me to where pro gamers are today. I didn't practice all day or lock myself in a house with a dozen others. It was just a game I played with my friends. Of them, I was the strongest, so I decided to go where I could test myself and found that I belong. What? What about winning? Don't you want to be the best? Of course, I prefer to win, but thankfully I was never that important for me. I am thankful that I could enjoy the game in the era before it became so important. Hold on. StarSense debt? Whoa, that's a spot that I wasn't expecting. I have something I want to say before you ask anything else. Your Star League win was genuinely inspiring to me. You played Zerg against established hero overseas and you came out on top. I'll never forget the night of your victory. Exclamation point, explain Fanes with the circle on top of the A. The problem is it's a Norwegian word? Yeah, no, I can't look it up. Mostly because I can't type the word. I'm assuming fools or scrubs or something. You played Zerg against an established hero. Nobody expected you to win because of who you were, and you did anyways. How does it feel to prove everyone wrong? It felt good. Were you expecting more? Yes, that's it. I was much more focused on what my friends thought than what my detractors did. I know that what you're asking, Chae Young-sung, but our situations weren't the same. I don't have an answer for you. What you want, who to listen to. These are things you need to decide for yourself. Okay. So actually, I literally couldn't have said anything. Excel told us about your path through Braver, around when you had just come to this country. I remember that day very well. I'd only been in Korea for a few weeks. I didn't qualify for that Star League until months later. Hyunki was just a child, but that didn't stop him from slaughtering a careless mistake I made. He jumped up and down like he had just won the lottery, but when he noticed my face, he came to say something nice. We don't have many moments like that on the subway or at school. Those who struggle together should care more about each other, like Excel cared for me. Fame, idiot, imbecile, fool. Thanks. I appreciate it. I thought it was going to be slang for that kind of things, but I wasn't 100% sure. And I didn't have, like, the easiest way to go type that. Thanks for the definition, Cyclone. I always hated Og for what he did to KDG. You're wrong. You should never hate somebody for that. I want to know about your Star League run. Neither Jet nor I have been able to experience one yet. I'm certain you know everything I could tell you. The studio was smaller, fans fewer. The grand finals weren't hosted in aircraft hangars. But what was going through your head? It's actually possible for us to have a more normal conversation with you, unlike, say, Locke. I was often nervous. I practiced hard, but never an amount I wasn't comfortable with. If I was born 5 years later, you may have never known my name. Does that make me a worse champion than Locke, Xing, or Fierce? I hope not. I never thought I'd be a champion. All I wanted to do was play a game I love. Though I will admit, I found myself much more stressed once I had taken that victory. My goals became vague and less compelling. I began to think about what I would leave behind, whether or not I would still enjoy Starcraft if I played past my prime. So that's why you left. Your legacy. Could you imagine me as pro gamer today? Yes, I left because I got what I was after, and now I can play the game I love however I want. That's everything I can hope to bring this Starcraft Legend's attention. I'm not sure how I feel about him, but I'm glad I took the time to hear him out. I've got to get going. My wife will yell at me if I'm back too late. It was a pleasure to speak with you, Chaeyoung, and I'm sorry. May I know your name? Sunghwan-yi. Bolt. Then Chaeyoung and Sunghwan. Good luck to you both. Comling. Bork, bork. His Pomeranian yaps back as he takes off. I feel the urge to follow, but stop when Jet raises her eyebrow at me. Sorry. You don't have to say anything. You can prove your thanks to him and every other pro gamer who trailblazed this path for us. Would you mind if I walked you back to the Renown House? I can't let you, Sunghwan. Not until this is over. Jet lines up. She glances back at me, waiting for me to join her. Excel, over here! Hey, thanks for showing up earlier. Of course, and congratulations on qualifying. It was a sure thing, but it's so glad to see it in person. Are you sure that you don't mind sitting with me? Some of the other girls in the club might get jealous. Aw, come on. Let's make sure we find some decent seats. Wait, before we head inside, I'm supposed to meet someone. That friend of yours? No, I don't think she'd be allowed to come. Is that... Hello, dear. Are you Minso Kim? Oh, yes, that's me. You must be Cynthia or Jessica. Whoops. Whoa, no. Please, no. Cynthia is fine. Pleasure to know you. Unfortunate that both Chaeyoung and Sunghwan are predisposed simultaneously on the same day of my visit. Hope you don't mind entertaining me. Of course not. This is Excel, by the way. He's a pro gamer. Good to meet you, Jessica. How you been studying Korean? How long have you been studying Korean? Tell me about it as we find our seats. Likewise, and let's... Ah, that girl, she's here too. And she's with the foreigner in Excel. Whatever, I beat her. Who cares if all her friends are esports celebrities? Pomeranians, Pog. You mean Pogeranians. The gang's all here, quite literally. It's, well, except Yuna, but that's a different story. I feel bad for Yuna. I don't know. This match better be good. You just had to complain about coming to XSL alone. Clans should hang out together outside of PC Bong. Don't be so whiny. I don't need anything else to worry about on top of so many members ditching this for CSAT crap. What? Don't you have to take it too? Nah, I'm going into waste management just to spite my stupid teacher who said I couldn't even make it as a garbage man. Come on. I hope these two clowns knock each other around real good. I doubt Jet wants to see either of us in the audience. That isn't up to her. I understand that allowing her to practice with us has been challenging, but it's for the good of the game. What about the good of our team? Those who cannot persist, for whatever reason, should not... If the KPGA wants Renown gone, so be it. I still feel really bad for Coach Pock. And maybe I'm not supposed to, it's weird. Easy for you to say when you're not the one on the chopping block. Don't fear the end, my coach. Prepare for it. If I could go back to when I first joined this team, I wouldn't change a single thing from then to now. Hey, she is here. Everybody's gonna be here. It really is the whole gang.
Are you sure this is all right?
I'm caught up in my coursework. My parents can't say or do anything they haven't already. I owe them this.
Which will you cheer for?
I'm not sure. Ready?
Yeah.
Good. You got this, Sungkwan.
Fierce shows me a nod. He's grown used to our terse exchanges and needs to say nothing more. Before he moves away, someone waiting on stage steps forward from her place against the wall.
Fierce. Sorry. I mean that this time. Not for leaving, but for blaming why I had to on you. It wasn't your fault. I shouldn't have said those things. You've taken more hits than anyone I know, Cheon. It's a little wonder why you're so eager to throw punches. You and Sungwon show a good game, alright?
You know what you must do. Show them who between you two deserves the title of pro gamer.
I'll do it. Not because it serves the KPGA, but because it's what a pro gamer does. Tell me the truth. Did you arrange this?
You're bold to ask for one as red as loyal.
Go on.
It's time.
Welcome to the XSL qualifier. The 16 players who qualified today begin the bloody path for the first round of the XSL. This monumental task of qualifying is the first step in every young pro gamer's dream. Those commentators are a bit over the top, aren't they? I like them, but maybe that's my fond memories talking. What are the commentators like where you're from, Synthé? Much less professional, but charming and knowledgeable all the same.
You're sure you don't want to sit with Minsa? She's just a few rows ahead.
Let them enjoy their game without worrying about explaining it to me. That can be your job.
Yeah, real thoughtful of you.
Also, you're definitely not allowed to smoke in here.
Who do you have?
This is a hard one. Jed, I guess?
You would. Even odds on that. 10,000 won?
How about loser pays for dinner?
Deal.
Woo, crowded in here. Sorry, fellas. It's hard to watch from backstage. You mind if I sit here? Sure. It's about to start. This will probably be one of the best sets of the year. From two amateurs, you don't mean that. Remember, Bolt and Jet are exceptionally familiar with one another's styles. And that's rare between strong players. I wonder what that means for the outcome of this. It means only one thing. When one calls, only the other will hear. Quiet opening from these two. You never know with these two-player maps. After all that practice, you think they'd try to cheese? It can be tough to hold a forge, fast expand on this map, but I'll bet Jet would rather bank on a strong mid-game.
Yeah. He's got reavers and shuttles ready. I know firsthand how much work Bolt puts into those. See his position behind the minerals. It's much harder to defend that way. Watch, here he goes. Here come the Hydralisks. He needs to get out of there with that reaver.
Was that good?
Was that good enough?
He'll need to do more damage than that. Jet's just powering up an unstoppable late game. He wants that Overlord. Look. Sung Hwan shouldn't be looking for damage with the Corsairs. If he's not careful, Jet will catch his shuttle with those Hydras. He's trying to get in there. Oh, I can't look. There he goes. Nice sneaking around Jet's vision. Let's see how much work he can get done. Oh wait, no, that's Excel. Nice work sneaking around Jet's vision. We'll see how much work he can get done here. There's the first Reaver. Oh crap. I didn't realize he had a second. Man, Jet's screwed. Don't be so sure. Bolt invested so much into this attack that it absolutely has to deal damage. The Scarabs are out. Dude, run! Now the other. But the Hydras. Did he wait too long? No, he made it out. But without the damage he needed done. By the way, game capture also messes up these Starcraft minigames too. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Here, I got this.
See those two Zerglings behind the minerals? Jet's spotting for another attack, which is much harder for Bolt to damage John now.
Looks like he's trying to run out. Trying anyway. Scarab's out. That didn't look like much damage. He's got one more shot before he needs to escape. The Hydras are almost there. That wasn't enough damage, but at least Sung Hwan got out of there without losing any of his Ravers. The game's still on. Heed my advice now more than ever, Bolt. Whoa, look at all that Scourge! Jet sees back map control. If they're gonna fight, it'll likely be on her terms now.
I'm not sure his army's strong enough, but he's got everything he needs.
His base looks tough. Wait, look. No, Jet! That's a huge blunder. She was way too eager to get that shuttle. Whoop. It seems that prepared Sung Hwan to step out and face her now. Oh my gosh, I can't look. Here she comes. Hope you're ready, Bolt. Decent positioning so far. He'll push through the whole base with those incoming Dragoon for reinforcements. And unless he's trying to tank hits with them, Bolt's being careless with those Corsairs. He needs to retreat. She's pushing him back. What if he breaks into his natural? That's not his accent at all. Maybe you should have listened to the game suggestion for window capture. Oh, nah. Window capture looks worse. It, like, always does. Wait, why is it not the right size, though? Whatever, we'll just do that. I think that's the right, as good as I can get it. What if he pushes and then breaks into his natural? Don't be so sure. Look at the choke point. Remember those Reavers that Bolt kept alive? Jesus, he just killed like 10 Hydras with a single shot. Jet doesn't seem to be willing that co-answered. A good pick off, but she overcommitted to that attack and she needs to back off. Just containing him, isn't she? How long can Bolt last on 2 bases?
There's not much time. Bolt has to get something done soon.
Look at that army from Jet. How is Bolt supposed to survive this?
I'm not sure he can, but he has to try.
Oh, what a huge storm. Is he actually about to hold this? The Reavers, reinforcements. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
What the hell? In open terrain?
Micro Bolt, you got this. Impressive. Bolt claims a decisive lead with that. Bolt claims a decisive lead with that. Dude, man, this is killing me. They keep jumping between everybody. So much work. Jess stayed on Hydralisk for too long. The lurk is finally out, but with this engagement, it might be too late. Don't say that. Come on, I want to see you fight back. Go get him, Jet. Bolt's still on the attack. Every time they engage, Bolt pushes ahead. Look, there he goes again. Why couldn't he land storms like that on Team League? Look at how many units Protoss has. Controlling a small army parts at once like that is hard. But wait, she's got Hydras under the Dark Storm in the third. Can he hold? He's got the right amount of units to defend, but she's already done so much damage to the Nexus. She's running away. Is that the right move?
It cost Joser Hydralisks, but look.
Clever. Jet left her Zerglings in the Dark Swarm and finished off the Nexus. That's gonna put gold on a clock. It's so even. Both of them have such strong armies now. That huge orange cloud, that's Dark Swarm? Does it deal damage? It protects units inside from ranged damage. You can't see them, but Jet's hiding her lurkers under there. Only Zealots and Storm can unseat them in that position. Splash damage from the Archons and Reavers too. Look, Bolt's using it to cover himself with her Hydralisks. Jet really needs to retreat. I'm not sure if Sun Quan should keep pushing forward. I know he wants to contain her, but... Look, a Zergling run by. If Jet can snipe off the Nexus a second time, she'll cripple him. Yes, perfect storm, Sun Quan. Now is the time to strike. He should attack, right? Obviously, look at his army. God, Protoss is so overpowered.
See those big Zerg units? Ultralisk. They shrug off a storm and splash damage. Under the Dark Swarm, they're almost impossible to deal with.
There's so much going on. It's so hard to keep up with. Yeah, come on, Bolt. You got the positioning you need. Get in there. He's doing it. Bolt's gonna break her. My word, does the auditorium usually shake like this? Jet, survive. I don't want this to end so soon.
Nothing's over yet. Jet has another game to figure this out.
It's so loud. She typed GG, and look, Bolt just pumped his fist.
Yeah, S rank, XSL 1.
Bolt didn't go for the Forge Fast Expand this time. Is that safe? He got out Zealot pressure to keep his attack a little faster. It's greedy, and Jet can punish him if she catches on by playing greedy herself. I hope she learned from last game not to wait for so long. Sungwon already has serious production online. I hope she learned from last game not to wait for so long. Sungwon already has a serious production online. Base entrances are much more open on this map. She's done so well so far to take advantage of that. Zerglings! So many Zerglings! Mean so? Look, they're about to engage.
Bolt storms never disappoint. Just one more and those burrowed lurkers are done for.
Was that enough? Look, even more Zerglings are on the way. It's the terrain, isn't it? There's nowhere to funnel those smaller and weaker units, so Jet can find her advantage in numbers.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. No surprise that you're a pro gamer.
Look, she found the base that Bolt's been trying to hide. It's dangerous for her to commit a full-on attack at that location, but Bolt needs to seriously be careful about letting her shoot down those cannons and harass him. Not a dead Zerg. It's bad for her to stay on even bases like this. Even I know that. There's no easy prescription for what Jet needs to do here. If she overexpands, Bolt will crush her. She has everything she needs. It's a matter of carefully choosing the right time to engage. I don't envy her position. Bolt caught her out on the map. Look, he's going in. Sloppy. It's gonna cost her if she can't pull back. Oh, Bolt's chasing. Be careful, Jet. Oh, ho. Look at that. She spun right around attacking the Dark Swarm. Careful now, Sunghwan. Ultra's already. Man, she took an aggressive tech route this game. Hope she got upgrades to match. Here's hers is a unique talent. She read that Tempo Storm Bolt set and knew she had time for 4 Ultralisks. Finishing off this army puts her in a dominant position. Ah, the observer missed a run by. She got that base earlier. From here out, just is Jet's game to lose. Don't count Sunghwan out just yet. He's shown discipline in this game and won before. Watch him go. Jet just won that. Won't let them have that base, huh?
She's done a fine job keeping him occupied on the map. He can't be everywhere at once.
He better do something faster. He's about to lose to a girl. A girl with the plague. Look out. Even busting out of the Dark Archon. Alright, Sunghwan. Let's see what you've got. Run, Jet, run! Get back to your army! Miss Kim, I must say you sound a tad biased for who you're cheering for. Oh my gosh, look at this clash! Ultras and Reavers and Archons! Both got these Ultras, Maelstrom. What a rare thing to say. He better capitalize on it while he can. Good. Keep going. Show us more, both of you. My god, it's going down to the last unit. Look at this. Both got the most left over. But is he strong enough to take another wave? Hard to say. Jet's denied his expansion for so long that... Look at that Zerg army. I take it back. Zerg is by far the most overpowered race. Sunghwan, come on. You can hold this. So much Zerg. Jet's crashing over him like a tidal wave.
And again, great storms, but Jet's adapted too well. Those Ultralisks just don't care about his storms.
Yes, come on, Ultralisks, get in there. Chow down on those probes. Jet's already done so much damage already, but Bone needs to stem the tide. Now or never. Just 3 of those big Zerglings have him scrambling back, but she's already attacking him somewhere else on the map.
He needs to pull back, but that's the problem.
Why? He handled it already.
See that, Overlord?
Genius. Look at that double drop. Look at that. A double drop of Zerglings. She even morphed a Hydralisk at the entrance of the expansion, locking Sunghwan out of his own base. That seals it. Without an economy, Bolt cannot survive. At this point, it's inevitable. We're on to the final game. Excuse me. Wow, max APM 225? What up? It's intense. Sit up, gotta get ready. Bull went back to the forge faster than expected. I don't blame him for playing this one carefully. He sees everything at Jet's expansion, but he's not putting on any pressure. What does that mean? Bolt shouldn't commit to Dark Templar more than scouting. He can take his 3rd soon, but not until after he's done some damage. 1 sec, I'm gonna move the mic. I feel like I can never get the mic where I want it, sorry. He can take his 3rd soon, but not until he's dealt some damage. Oh, and I'm sitting up. Yeah, sorry. Usually I don't sit up like super straight, but like this is an intense moment.
With so much invested in tech, he won't last long on 2 bases.
Protoss better get some units out. That Zerg army looking strong.
An ambush on the ridge just outside Bolt's base. Jet's position here is really good. Should he pull back, go in? There's no time.
I don't see lurkers. That choke is too tight, but I think Bolt can push through.
He's got her on the run. Is he about to do it again? Macro and expand. Do not be complacent, Sung Hwan.
I was right. I knew they'd swap the T.
There, she's got lookers in Burwood finally. Sung Hwan needs to get the reinforcements out of there immediately. Bolt's army is all on the move just or outside his base, but where's Jet's? Oh my, look.
A doom drop. Whoops. A doom drop with the lurkers and Hydras. They're just one cannonbolt's maze. What a gutsy move.
There's no time. Move your probes, Bolt. Live. How is he supposed to deal with all this in his own base and everything? He's gonna lose his nexus at a minimum. It's fine. Bolt, you're okay. You've got your 3rd base up. Just keep your economy strong and you'll be fine. Clear it out.
Jet's even targeting his observatory that Bolt won't be able to spot our lurkers. Man, that's so smart.
Can you hold her, Bolt? Or will she pull you apart? He's got his army back, but at what cost? All this delayed mining and damage.
If he can deal with the lurkers, he may survive, but he'll have to do it entirely with the storm.
I still don't know what that means, but I see a lot of Bolt's buildings are exploding. So much Zerg! Sung Hwan, look out! She's gonna attack your base! He seems predisposed in his base. Did he kill all that army? I don't see it anymore.
It's real bad for Bolt. He's totally out of position already, taking damage in his main.
Run, Jacoons, run! Get there! No. And in the main. His main and 3rd base destroyed. Maybe he could rebuild quickly? No. Look, coach. Those Hydras and Lurkers were burrowed and held there all along. Without vision to spot it, there's no way for him to rebuild. No. It's over already?
Is that why I lost? Because I only got an A instead of an S? Got a max of 365 during my run. Probably during the prologue where I was mashing escape. Lol.
Tremendous. Man, she really does have it. Those were good games, Sung Hwan. Be proud. Jet, you're amazing. You both are.
This was my own miscalculation on many fronts. There are only so many things I can control. The outcome of an honest fight should not be one of them. Otherwise, I'd be no better than... Today isn't the end of anything, E. The people of this country crave what you showed us here. Don't keep them waiting.
Amazing. Where is she? I must have a word with her.
Oh my gosh, this gatekeeper is gonna take... That would be hilarious.
And I got to play her. You think she's still mad at us? I want to ask for an autograph.
Man, I don't know.
Yuna, you did make it. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm glad I did. Think they'll come out like last time?
Locke rises from his seat in the crowd and towers over them all.
You'll have to wait a long time for Jet. For her, the ceremony has come to mean nothing.
Whew.
I take some time backstage to come to terms with my disappointment. No matter how happy I am for Jet, it doesn't compare to how bad I wanted this.
But to be fair, so did she. For the dozen or so times I played on the stage for Team League, I've never had the privilege to come out of this door on my own. Aw, look at all the friends! Friends! I find that it eases the sting more than I'd like to care to admit, not because I'm ungrateful to them, but because I don't want to imagine the wound is so shallow.
There you are. Is Jet coming out?
I don't know. I didn't see her backstage.
Then where is she? That won't be the last we see of her, Minsa. Even I know that.
Sorry for disappointing you guys. All I can say is I'll do better next time. A chorus of protests erupt, mostly from girls and other supporters, about how well we played. The pro gamers behind them simply watch. There's much to be said, but little time to say it. My friends, peers, and fans peel off one by one, till a few remain.
I'll be around till the end of the week. I'd love for you and Chae Young to show me through the eyes of two natives and discuss the opportunity. I assume she knows about BlizzCon?
It's not in my power to grant you that. I can only speak for myself.
Then let us hope that Chae Young speaks again soon. A victory without triumph to share won't stoke her fire for long.
You might know better than either of us. Wherever she is now, I hope that Jet got what she wanted.
Keep going, Bolt. You'll get yours soon enough.
Of course. I got a bright red target to chase now. After signing a few things for the handful of fans that remain, I bow in thanks and step backstage.
It was crazy. Crazy.
Even now, I'm proud to say that I didn't let go of my esports dream. I was loved by my fans and made a modest but true living in my own hand, and I never failed to appreciate that fact. I poured everything into Brood War. All my aspirations, my hard work, my talent, my dreams. And every time, I came up short. I earned my title of pro gamer and nothing more. I buried myself in the pain of my failures, even as I slowly ripped past them and into the round of 8 one season. For a moment, I was proud, till I looked up for my small victory. The very first Starcraft 2 tournament. A massive open bracket run by VSL, and 100 million won on the line. Jet, who had dropped out of Brood War that summer, reemerged with the same passion from our days before Hogwan in middle school. She destroyed them, one after the other. From retired KPGA pros to teenage new bloods, she cut down Korean and foreign opponents alike. No one could stop her. Brood War fans called her opportunistic. Commentators bitterly joked about how much foreign money had entered their scene. Even those who sung her praise found a way to condescend her. And she gave her ear to none of them. Jet became the champion of her dreams. And I just watched from the sidelines. I'll play your foreigner. And I'll destroy her.
You'll try.
This is the start of StarCraft 2 VN. You become a top representative of our league, Lee. How could you lose? Oh, it's him.
Yes? You. Who is it, Riva? Ah, Sanghuan. Please, come inside.
Her teammate eyes me warily. Beyond the doorframe, I don't see her Protoss runt or foreigner. Just Excel.
Been a while. Hell, it's about time. I think I speak for all of us when I say, well, thanks for the match.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome, I guess.
Excel, why don't you and Riva see if Mach and Stunt are done helping out at that convention store? Or convenience store? Are you certain? Come on, let's leave them to it. Very well.
You won.
Mock did. I barely had anything to do with it.
No. I mean, you won our competition. Our race. I need to admit that to you. It was a Star League, and you won it. It counts. So you won.
This is the first time I've considered that. But not because I still don't think about that promise. I never cared about how I'd feel at the end, whether I'd won or lost. The whole point of our little game was simpler than that. How did I know that as a kid, only to forget it? Celeste giggle. Hey, Sirens. You just come out of nowhere, man. Hope you're having a good one. You showed up right at the end of this. It made me better, but it's over. It's been over, I guess. Sirens, what up?
The time I spent away from Jet hasn't been good for me, but I can't fault her for that unfortunate truth. Oh my gosh, literally anything is selectable. Are you serious?
I highly doubt we'll see a Royal Road again. Too many old hands in Brood War at this point.
What about Starcraft 2?
For some reason, it didn't register that Starcraft 2 should count too. Definitely not Mock. Love that girl, but she doesn't have what it takes. Neither does Stunned. Maybe Riva? She's already strong enough to qualify, just a matter of stealing her nerves, I guess. Time will tell.
There's a reason Royal Roaders are few and far between. An accomplishment like that is a legendary feat. For those who achieve it, go down in history.
Pog! Good thing there's more than one way to do that. I can say anything I want, and she'll have an answer for me. That feels good.
So obviously that means I need to talk about vaccine.
That scandal was a truly shocking affair. One of them managed to pivot into a solo career, but the other two never really recovered.
Did the executives ever get in any real trouble?
Of course not, and they never will, till this country develops an appetite for real justice. Cheap and easy medicine vigilantism won't cut it forever.
I don't remember the exact details of the incident, just said it was a gross abuse of power in every sense of the word.
What? Celeste Sebest girl. That's an abundant lie, but okay.
Do we need to go through literally everything? There's so many things to talk about. Let's talk about Og, I guess.
How do you feel about Og's newfound popularity? It's crazy that he's become a relevant Korean celebrity in the time since we met him. I actually love watching him. He's so patient yet totally honest compared to his fellow hosts. His unique appeal to non-StarCraft fans must be what he has, a real credibility in our culture despite being born outside it.
I'm happy for him, but I'm not deluding myself into thinking there are television shows slavering to sign every retired pro gamer.
As expected. You should have a sit down, a stunt.
Pass.
That woman is a force of nature. Gearflame and Gatekeepers are both major players in foreign esports these days.
Any idea if she's still competing?
She hung it up just like she said she would. Kind of a shame. And I don't like that implies about my own path.
I get texts from her every now and then, usually coinciding with big StarCraft news.
You still work with her every now and then, don't you? Not for a while now. Maybe I should text her. I'm down for another job like that these days. And getting paid.
That trip to BlizzCon was one to remember. If we had more time, I'd love to reminisce about it someday.
Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't heard from her since she went abroad, but Minsa told me she got a perfect CSAT score. Yeah, let's go, girl! It's not about as much of a lie. It's about as much of a lie as her.
Hey. That's so savage. All 4 parts. There are only a few dozen perfect scores per year. Even my math score was only my math score was perfect.
Too bad they didn't have a StarCraft section on the test.
Maybe I would have cared. Yuna and I spoke a few times after our match, but I haven't kept up with her. Do you know where she went to college?
God, somewhere in New England, I think. Minsa said. Where in America is that state?
That...
Hey!
Let's just... never mind.
I kind of wish I got more story about her, though. Smokes? The clerk? He sold Golden Zone Fire and went somewhere else. The new owners were nice and all, but not nearly as savvy as he was. I haven't heard from him in years. I wonder if him and you can keep in touch. Did he have us figured out? He had perspective on us, but Starcraft teaches a few things that even he didn't know. Do you just start from the top and just go down? Like, holy smokes. We'll just do all characters first. Locke isn't someone you should aspire to be. He achieved our dream, and that's the only positive thing I could say about him. It's not just what he did to you, it's what he did to all of us. If I thought I could do it justice, I'd give you the full story. His obsession with legacy, his cryptic manner, I don't understand. I'm sorry, I just can't talk about him. What? Really? That's it? That's it. I don't blame you for your disappointment, but this is out of my hands. That was very surprisingly abrupt. I have no idea what he's doing now. Frankly, I don't care. I treated him worse than he deserved. What up? Character growth. So happy you said that, Bolt, because it's so true, and I still feel really bad for that character. He did nothing to challenge a rigid system and looked down on him and looked out for himself before others, just like every other KPGA drone. The difference is that he was bad at his job. He tried to coach me a little when I was practicing with Locke and a few others during my time with Renown. I made sure that didn't last long. Feel all the pity you want for him. Don't ask me to do the same. I still feel bad for him, but I guess that's fair. I am really curious about Minsa. We still talk regularly. I'm in a bunch of group chats with her. They can be overwhelmingly active at times. I saw her all the time when she was interning at VSL. She attends a small college in America these days, but she talks all the time about dropping out and going full-time at VSL. I think Minsa knows her limits. If she makes the call, I'll trust it's a good one. Agreed. What is there to say? I'm the same as I've always been. That's not true. I saw what happened after you won your championship. For everyone who treated you like a champion you were, there were two that wanted to justify how you've done it. It's either an actual miracle or disaster, depending on their point of view. You're different now. Jaded and angry. I don't blame you for either, but you're not the same. Even when I finally crested that peak, voices below continued to doubt me. The dream that I'd prove everyone wrong was impossible all along. I have every right to live free from their expectations, and for a while I did, but it's hard to keep up. They make me too angry. None of us are done growing, and you never accept those who didn't accept you. Then so be it. Yeah. Thank you. I have no clue what that guy's up to. Hope his clan members went on to bigger things. Why didn't we form a clan when we were younger? We didn't need one. You're really a practice partner I really want to play with. Clans aren't just about practice, though. It's about fun and community. You know, hanging out. I'm too old to just hang out these days, and it never took priority over practice when I was younger. Most have no idea what he's been up to since retirement. I used to imagine that our heroes went on to bigger and better things. Knowing now that that's rarely the case, maybe we're better off not knowing where KDG is. Characters aren't allowed to grow, right? Ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. There's no way around the fact that this game is cruel. What other profession forces players to retire so early? I mean, sport? Does it really force us, or is that a limitation we've set on ourselves? No, the realization that no matter how real this is, we can't do it forever. But that doesn't make the time we spend on it any less worthwhile, does it? No, it doesn't. Still fighting to become the first Protoss Bonjour. Only now, he has to compete with Starcraft 2 Protoss players. Hey, even you. Yeah, probably not. How are things between you two? You get plenty of playtime in the team league these days. Fierce and I are very different.
We're not partners, not like you and I were. But I respect him and his staying power. He was born for this, to play Starcraft and basically do nothing else. What someone like him was supposed to do 20 years ago, I don't know. Or what he'll do when he has to hang up. I don't want to imagine that he'll ride out as minor celebrities for the rest of his life. He could always stream, getting easier to make a living from it every year. The KPGA doesn't. I'm well aware of their brain-dead limitations. Just allowing players to capitalize on their personal brand is just another overreach. So true. Why does Jet look so different now? Because this is actually Jet from StarCraft 2 VN. This is the original Jet. So because this takes place during StarCraft 2 VN, they actually took all of the all of the old character models. That's why it arguably doesn't look as good. Whoops. I'll be honest, I didn't know him very well. He had this strange fascination with me since the first time I was on Shock T1, but we rarely spoke. He kept that interest up the second time around as well. You didn't know? No. Care to explain? Maybe it's better if I didn't. He did not like you. That's news to me. Whatever. Tell me more when you finally grow out of your KPGA loyalty. She's almost as frustrating as she is sharp. Whoops. No, I'm not done. I'm sorry. They were like a bunch of sad boys. No wonder you fit so well. Wow, that's so mean! You seem to fit in pretty well too, all 3 months. Did you know I never actually signed a contract with them? Didn't move into the team house either. I spent 6 hours at a Goshiwan and 16 at that team house for the 2 seasons. If it worked for you, then I've got nothing to taunt you about. I shouldn't have presumed so much on your behalf. Did it really work? I mean, I beat you, but I never got past the round of 32. Who's to say I wouldn't be here if that hadn't happened? You needed that win. Maybe. There is no such thing as a practice partner in StarCraft 2, at least not how they existed in Brood War. If you want to practice, you find a friend and train on equal terms. I don't know a single team that doesn't encourage all of their members to qualify. Sounds like a better experience for low-level pros, but it takes someone with a little ambition to start an arms race. Still against limiting practice day to 8 hours. Yes, we do that to ourselves, not to our teammates. Really. Then what would you do if Mock dipped out at practice 5 p.m. every day? That's different. I'm more than her teammate. I'm her captain. Uh-huh. Burn. This game is heavily inspired by Steins Gate. No. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But maybe I'm wrong. I was just stupid to think I wasn't worthy of the title back then. I was a pro gamer, even if I wasn't particularly a successful one. There's really nothing all that special about being able to call yourself a professional gamer. These days, some rush as soon as they've been assigned by a sponsor who pays them in mouse pads. Did it mean more to be a pro gamer before all this growth? Maybe pro gamers were braver the earlier you go back, and I won't deny that last year together was the height of competition. But it definitely meant you were stupider and luckier. There are pro gamers of all different types these days, competitors or not, and not. I just hope things will be better for them as well as things were better for us for the pro gamers of AUG or KDG's era. As long as we stay in this winner-take-all world, I doubt it. Has the exact same UI? Interesting. I don't know if it's based on that, but I do know that this is all in PyCharm, or not PyCharm, good lord. This is all in RenPy. So that might be part of the limitations. You really don't mind it? Like, along with the definitions, too. Oh, interesting. Why would I? I benefit from it. And if I wouldn't be in this profession if I didn't think I can win. If you say so. There's a lot to unpack there. Where do I start? When we went our separate ways in middle school, I assumed you'd put Starcraft behind you. You stayed because your esports career was the one thing you achieved all on your own, no matter how stupid that makes you. I respect it. Each year I stay in this profession has damage done to my future and my relationship with my parents. But I just don't care. Not as much as I want this. I came to terms with that price years ago. Fight, Bolt. It was kind of a pointless observation in retrospect. There wasn't really any meaningful 7-part rivalry for the Seven Kings. What went on between Fierce and Locke was far more interesting. At least I managed to steal one of them for my team. Aside from Locke, all seven remain active in either Brood War or Starcraft 2 to this day. Just goes to show how the staying power of most top players have. That's kind of cool to know, though. I mean, I really like how this is, and I like... To be fair, I also really like the writing of this. There's a lot going for this that I appreciate. But this look, if that's actually what Steingate looks for, that's already a plus in my book. I can think of many lower level players that came up after and burned out faster. Sticking around isn't easy. There's something to be said for someone who can manage it. That story isn't one you hear about often. I'm not asking you to celebrate by just getting by. I know that's not what you're doing. I can't believe you actually came for all-out attack after all these years. Since getting into StarCraft 2, I wanted to test where I am in comparison to Brood War. How long have you been playing? Be honest. A month, maybe more. Honestly. Okay. I believe you, but I can't decide what to think of you accepting that show match request. Don't thank me. It was a match to decide who was wrong and who was right, with something on the line for all involved. Yeah. Alright. I've heard rumblings about whether or not they'll disband and switch to StarCraft 2. I think they'll give it a try, but VSL has grown so much since the Brood War days. Just goes to show how playing by the rules sometimes pays off. If it's for the right reason. The irony behind how strict the KPGA is towards its players is that it's self-servicing purpose. They'll pay for it eventually. Do you really think we'll see a day without the XSL? I mean, the brand itself is so popular, I can't imagine ever going away. Time will tell, but I wouldn't be surprised. Without a pro-license system in StarCraft 2, it's not something we have to worry about. In retrospect, a license was all about KPGA control. They wanted to decide who was and wasn't allowed to play StarCraft. When I think back to how much I cared about it, I feel like a fool. But even I, who knew better than to fall in line, was convinced that KPGA was a necessary evil. First achieving that license was a special moment for every competitor, but StarCraft 2 proves there's plenty to fill that void. I'll never have the privilege of truly earning my license, but I'll also have 100 million won sitting in my bank account. I think I'll be okay. By the way, 100 million won, $100,000. US dollars. I don't know what that is to Portugal bucks. I wish I could have... I wish I could say I completely stopped reading the dumb things people have to say about me. Also, technically, it's a little less than that. Like, 1,000 won is kind of close to 100 bucks. Or, sorry, 1,000 won is kind of close to $1, but I think it's slightly less, like 90 cents or something. But for the most part, I just divide by 1,000. So it's probably more like $90,000 rather than 100. Oh no! yes, Portugal bucks, the official currency of the glorious republic. Of course. I mean, I could have said Portugal pesos, but I feel like that would be substantially worse and more insulting. I wish I could say I'm completely stopped reading the dumb things people have to say about me. It's fun to post. Don't tell me you aren't thick-skinned enough at this point that stuff still bother you. 100 mil would be 110,000 then. I'm just picturing you trolling me, Jovine. Wait, is it actually a peso? Portuguese currency. Because I'm gonna laugh if it is. Oh, it's the euro. I guess I'll be completely honest. A little part of me didn't really assume Portugal was part of the European Union. 100 million would be 10,000 then. No. You drop a set. So it goes from being... So 1,000 becomes 1, which means 1 million would become 1,000? So 100 million would be 100,000. You just drop it a tier. It's like billion goes to million, million goes to thousand, thousand goes to hundreds. I believe that's how that works. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being super silly. Not like I used to, but I'd be better off if I didn't have to see it. Do you worry what they say is true? That you're washed up or crazy or whatever? Okay, I see. Yeah. Of course I do. Quietly. I think I'm almost on the last one. Holy crap, no, I lied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh my gosh, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh my gosh. I don't have much of a plan post Starcraft, if that's what you're asking. College, work, you could even stay in esports. The opportunities available to you are endless. I remember you saying something like that to me when we first reconnected. It wasn't true then, but now it is. And I know how lucky that makes me. She didn't say anything, right? Yeah, she just looked at me. I'm not the type of person who should try to emulate. It's why I find those who want me to play the part of the role model is so infuriating. Because you skipped your CSAT? Among other things. Whoops. I'm glad to be free of them. StarCraft 2 isn't organized perfectly, but I'm happy with how the ecosystem is set up. Why do they need so much power over us? The answer is that they didn't. They wanted it. It worked. You don't know if StarCraft 2's best days are already behind you. And if they are, did they match Brood Wars? You can't tell me that the golden years of Brood War were all KPGA's doing. It was us, the players. I just want to be through with them. When we switch to StarCraft 2, they might regain control of things. Not a chance. Not after what they pulled with the game's developer. I might share what I know with you about that with you sometime, but now's not the time or place. But I want to know! I'm actually really curious about if that's a real thing. You really need to get yours done soon, don't you? Or did Daddy Warbucks pull some strings behind the scene for you? My dad doesn't have that kind of power. If he can do anything at all, it's to make sure that I don't get some horrible post-sweeping mines at the DMZ or something. My brother's about to finish his first year, but he's in no great rush considering how well he fits up there. I'm glad to hear it, even if I know I definitely won't. Don't be such a priss. I'm sure you'll get some cozy desk job. I'm a bad-mannered girl. Deal with it. You do you, but recognize that people are only willing to put up with you if your desirable traits outweigh your sharp tongue. Savage. In other words, keep on winning. Tell me about your least favorite opponent in the worst team terms possible. God, there was this one coin flipping mouth breather I kept facing on ladder all week. Played random and all I did was cheese. Absolutely cancerous. I expected better. Yeah, well... Hey, wait a second. Better from who? Beyond the game, what does that mean, really? You demonstrated your command of that concept of time and time again. What you were willing to do to beat people at StarCraft or to get ahead. I didn't think of less of you at the time, even though I had every right to. Yeah, and why is that? You were on my side. You know all the drawbacks and honor you cling to anyways. I don't get how you do it. People follow the KPGA because they offer what most of them won't achieve on their own. Dignity. 999 and this one seem to both have that weird thing where they give you random obscure facts and then expound on other facts and you don't know which are true. So a lot of this, almost all of this, I'm pretty sure all of this is actually based in some truth, if not complete truth. It's supposed to not be like a story about actual players, but it definitely has, whoops, I unplugged my keyboard. It definitely has at least roots, very strong roots in a lot of the actual truth. Maybe it's been so long that you can't remember, but a life without it's unbearable. I haven't forgotten. I'll never forget. What did I actually point out? Metagame? Really? Ceremony. Oh, impressed with my moves? Since the final, all you ever do is give a thumbs down to your opponent. Where's the creativity? Because that's what they deserve. There are so many bad players deluded into thinking they're future champions. My ceremonies are a way of informing them otherwise. That's so rude! What about you when you emerged from the booth in your Star League win? I don't remember a thumbs down then, just a tear-streaked smile. Oh, shut up. That's adorable. Did her eyes change color? I sometimes forget how involved they were with Brood War. They haven't seemed particularly interested in Starcraft 2. Think that might change when the KPGA gets involved? Doubtful, since they won't have the control they're used to. I don't think it's controversial to say Starcraft 2 is powered by foreign spectators. The interest we saw at ICG is at least tenfold these days. Maybe their own sport drink company or airlines will get involved soon. Here's hoping they can offer good lives to those they represent. We earned our turn. If foreigners can earn theirs, then let's see it. I'm still cruising at a nice 325. Not that that's nearly as important in StarCraft 2. Don't let the fans hear you say that. The Brood War netizens will hold you over StarCraft 2 fans forever. Is it just me or has the internet made things worse? Yeah. What? It made them better. We can actually watch tournaments in decent quality. There's never been more entertainment media available today than any time in history. Everything's so much more complicated. When we were kids, seeing local PC Pong champs with 200 APM blew our minds. Now anyone can watch with 400 APM and live with 2 keystrokes. That'll work. There's 2 sides of that coin. I shouldn't have to explain that to you. Maybe I'm just getting old. You're 23. I have done nothing with my life. Especially if that's Korean age. Because that means she's like 21 our age. What? Ah! That's old. Every StarCraft player has it. Whether or not we nurture it determines if we'll come to rely on it. Do you believe that? Every time we find a proxy at the perfect time that it could never have been for random or lucky. There's no such thing as a person who's consistently lucky. You have to be in the right place to be there at the right time. You know, there's more to it than just that. Tiny details that you notice that spectators don't, that we see a mistimed scout might as well be magic to them. But it's not. Anyone can learn. All it takes is time. They're still as brutal and time-consuming as ever, at least when they're academic-focused. And they continue to get results. Shouldn't that earn your approval? If things stay the same, you can be 100% sure I'd send my kid to one. You can acknowledge something's broken while you take part in it. Sometimes you have to. Still thinking about banning Hog 1 or limiting practice hours for StarCraft players? Thinking? Always. Just make sure it doesn't distract you from what needs to be done. I love that this ending is just talking and just learning some things again. StarCraft 2 isn't a game where you can rest on your laurels and expect to win every game. Tough luck, Brood War players. It's a more explosive game, that's for sure. But the maps they had us play seem to be moving in the right direction. Those games you played at that VSL final? Ridiculous. 2 spawns and a short rush distance? Everyone plays by the same rules. I had enough of a brain to recognize what was strong given the terrain. If anyone in that bracket held on to their conceits about honorable macro from Brood War, you were quick to smarten them up. That idea is poisonous to good players. The sooner they get that, the better. She watches me for a moment longer. Do I regret how things turned out? Maybe. But I wasn't set up to succeed. You were a brat. But the call you made to leave is what brought you here, rather than you having share my same fate. Oof, feels bad, man. Right? You aren't any less than me. Enough pretend. Searching my name pulls up stats page on a random fan site. Searching yours pulls up a Wikipedia article. Wait, what? You aren't lesser than me. Oh, yeah. No, that's totally true. Cheese, grommet. You were more than eager to cheese everybody. You were more than eager to cheese Mock at every turn, weren't you? Why wouldn't I? I had things to do. How painful is it that in Starcraft 2 it's easier to mechanically flex on an opponent with early game builds than late game ones? Flex. Peculiar muscle use, but acceptable. Yes, we're all aware that you would have crushed Mock in Brood War. Don't even get me started on Medivacs. And that base trade. Ah! Yes, your Protoss tears sustain me. Jet, I love you. That's amazing. That's the best quote ever. They're killing it. I'm impressed with their production considering how new and low budget they are compared to XSL. Well, they have plenty help abroad for prize pools. Let's help them focus that money elsewhere. I don't blame VSL, but XBC must be feeling the heat. If only that foreign passion had gone to Brew War. Jet stares at disapproval. Whatever, I won't take it back. She's back because you still like Brew War. To be fair, you have no business still liking Brood War. They remain relevant to success in StarCraft 2. Arguing otherwise would be a pretty tough stance. What skills translate between games, though? Both macro and micro are so different in Brood War and StarCraft 2. So far, Koreans are the strongest at both games. There must be a through line. We bring better mindset when we work harder. Do you deny that? That's not why we're better. Why we have those mindsets and what causes us to work harder? I think that's where the answer lies. We're almost done. Oh, it's crazy thinking we only have 3 things left to talk about. Esports Rush, Korean Esports Magazine. What? You still remember that? Of course, don't tell me it's the same Spectre that it was 3 years ago. It's not. If anything, it's proof of how far I've come. How it's never too late to make a change. And break away. No one forced you to stick by Brood War. That was your choice, for better or worse. I don't like what it's turned you into, but I'd be a hypocrite to say that you're wrong just because you aren't kind. Don't make excuses for me. The way I treated Mark isn't some cute quirk. And don't blame Brood War either. I wouldn't act this way if I didn't... the way I do if I had accomplished something meaningful, if I had done what I'd set out to do. Achieving a dream risks fallout if no other goals remain. But I'd take that over endless failure any day. Who says you failed? How can you think that? I've never won a Star League, even now, a year after you won yours. Because you haven't given up. Aw, that's so wholesome. Probe-kun. You've held on that thing this whole time? Well, it was a gift. Would it be wrong to say it's precious to me? Thank God you didn't hand it off to Mock with your replays then, huh? What, are you saying I would have smashed Probe-kun? No way. Don't call it that weird name. But it is Probe-kun. I love Probe-kun. Don't be silly. Get out of here. AF1. Oh, it's still weird thinking of it being like a military team. Excel's old team. Oh, are you aware of what went down between them? The KPGA doesn't care about intentions, only outcomes. Excel deserves all the trouble he got into. He's lucky that StarCraft 2 was waiting for him with open arms. Don't be like that. Even if he likes to touch hot plates, Hyunki has a good heart. If you knew the full story, you'd be nicer. A well-told story makes anything sound permissible and anyone out to be a hero, but it doesn't make it so. You couldn't trick anyone into thinking you're a hero, Bolt. Whoo! Dang! That's a real big oof. That's savage. 3 left. ICG pass. It's a shame they shut down operations, but I've seen replacement tournaments crop up all over, especially in America and Europe. I've noticed, and you've traveled to them more than once, haven't you? Of course. Am I a dishonorable prize money hunter? I am a dishonorable prize money hunter after all. Why else would I leave Brood War? Look, the things we say in the heat of the moment. I travel to those tournaments because I want to keep testing myself. The foreign competition might not be there yet, but they're much stronger than they were in Brood War. They might get there someday. I get excited just thinking about it. And I'm sure many others are just as excited about potential viewership.
Who can blame them? There's a lot more Westerners than there are Koreans. We need them to watch us. It's true in Starcraft or whatever comes after it. I can't tell if you genuinely love the foreign fan base or just the fact that they want to watch you. Why not both? Sniper. What, trying to find out my VSTL lineup? Shouldn't be much of a secret considering we only have 4 players. That's likely to change, isn't it? I'd like it to, but I don't have any ability to pay newcomers or practice partners what they're owed. It was easy for me to hate the KPGA for that. I'm not wrong for having done so either. But I'm not better for them saying I care. I can only be better if I show it. And last but not least, mind games. What's that supposed to mean? Are you implying about something about your visit here? Maybe. I don't think we'll ever share a team jacket again. But anything I can do to soften you up to me might dull that killer edge of yours is just enough. Unlikely, Sunghwan. If anything, that you fell for mind games. What if you denied Mach that show match? Sorry, but no. I knew what I was getting into. Sunghwan. I know, but it's time to go. No! No! What? You're not ready to go yet, are you? I don't blame you. I enjoyed this as well. But, well, you and I both know this can't last. All the hardships we've both been through, all the lessons we learned, what are they worth if we aren't eager for some next challenge? So, what's next for you, Bolt? Gonna live up to your pledge? Is it StarCraft 2 or Brood War? I have no idea. For now, I'm just gonna play what I want. I'm really happy to hear that. But I know you too well to pretend you don't want that rematch with Mach. The fight with your foreigner was to decide who was right and who was wrong. I'm still coming to terms now how wrong I was. For now, I can honestly say that I don't need another match. But don't hold me to it, in case I change my mind. Screw StarCraft, Bolt. Go play Smash. Hey. Don't worry. I won't. It was good to see you, Chaeyoung. I should go. Before you do, play StarCraft with me. The first one. I've been grinding Brood War non-stop for 3 years. Have you even touched the game in the past 6 months? Nope. But who cares? I just want to play. I'm not taking no for an answer. Use Mach's PC. She won't care. Ready up, go. Thanks, Jet. Does she say anything if I wait? She gets salty. That was amazing. Ah, that was so good. Wow, Mike Morhaime. That's insane that they have a special thanks for him. Carbot. I knew that they would have to thank Carbot. This is an awesome song. I might have to grab this. Bonjour supporter. That's such a cool title. If I was a StarCraft player, this actually might be my new outro. Because it's a great outro. But also, I'm pretty sure it's too long. Part of why I picked what I picked is because it's like a minute long. Oh my god. Did he really? You are a Starcraft player somewhat. That's... This camera, dude. I swear. Man, I'm so glad that these guys got so much support, and I wish I would have supported them myself, but I'm glad to have gotten to play this game. It's a fantastic game, and I hope they keep making games, honestly. What great fun stories. I totally implore everybody who hasn't. I know I played through it. If you enjoyed the game and you want it, I fully say go get it. And if you haven't, there's still a whole story I haven't touched on because I played it outside of the stream. The Starcraft 2VN. If you like this, I promise you'll love that too. So, just saying. And ladder. Matter. Ladder, doesn't even matter. Tormented woos of ooh. Lacip. Thank you for playing. Thank you for making such an amazing game. Ah, it was so good. So good. Ah, I'm so happy. I think I'm actually like short a couple of achievements. I think I missed like 3 S ranks. Asleep at the wheel. Girls don't like to be ignored. 200 APM. Fact, 200 APM is above 100 APM. 300 APM. Time to go pro in VM esports. 10 APM. Bolt is a Protoss player, but come on. Oh, that's so mean. What? S rank off race. And R15. And then 3 hidden achievements. Interesting. I don't know what the 3 hidden ones are. Well, I'm missing the S rank XSL TV 3. I don't know what those 3 are. But that's going to be it. And conveniently, it actually lines us up so perfectly with the end of the stream.